In this class, we are going to learn how to solve equations involving quadratic and linear equations simultaneously. Okay, let's start with the first question. We are asked to solve the equation p plus q equals to 3 and p squared minus q squared equals to 15. Okay, p plus q equals to 3 and p squared minus q squared equals to 15. Okay, I'm going to use two methods to solve this question. Okay, now I want to pay attention. In dealing with this question, the first method, using the first method now, let's call this equation 1 and let's call this equation 2. You have to make one of the unknown the subject of the relation in equation 1. In the linear equation that you are given in the question, if you come across this type of question in exam, you have to make one variable. You have to make it one unknown. You have to make it the subject of the relation in the linear equation that you are given. This is the linear equation. This is the quadratic equation. We are going to solve it simultaneously. Okay? So let's make p the subject of the relation in equation 1. So I'm going to have p is equals to 3 minus q. That is it. Now, having made p the subject of the relation in equation 1, I'm going to substitute the value of p as 3 minus q in the quadratic equation, which is the second equation. Okay, so the equation becomes like this. Instead of p, I'm going to have 3 minus q. So I'm going to have 3 minus q squared. Do you understand? Minus q squared equals to 15. Okay, now let us expand the bracket. This I'm going to have 3 minus q and 3 minus q. Minus q squared equals to 15. Okay, now let's open the bracket. I'm going to have 3 into bracket 3 minus q, then minus q into bracket 3 minus q. If you are part of our class on algebraic expansion, you should be able to expand easily. Okay, so here I'm going to have minus q squared equals to 15. Okay, now let's open the bracket. 9 minus 3q minus 3q minus, okay, plus q squared. 3 times 3, 9. 3 times negative q, 3q. Oh, 3 times negative q. That will give me this. Negative q times 3, that is negative 3q. Negative q times negative q, that is positive q squared. Minus q squared equals to 15. Okay? Now, okay, this is positive q squared. Okay? This is positive q squared. Let me use the blue marker to identify that. This is positive q squared. Okay? Now, we can collect like terms. Since we have gotten here, we can collect like terms. This positive q squared will cancel this negative q squared. So I'm left with what? 9 minus 3q minus 3q. That is minus 6q equals to 15. Okay? Wow, what an amazing equation. Okay? Now, if you take this 9 to the other side of the equation, we are going to have negative 6q is equals to 15 minus 9. Okay? Negative 6q is equals to 15 minus 9 will give us, that is 6. So I'm going to have 6. Divide both sides by negative 6. So q will be equals to negative 1. Okay? So the value of q is negative 1. Now, having gotten the value of q as negative 1, what will be the value of p? To get the value of p, all you have to do is that you just have to substitute the value of q into the linear equation that you are given. Okay? So, you know p, okay, p is equals to 3 minus q. P is equals to 3 minus q. So, when q is minus 1, so p will be equals to 3 minus 1. Okay? P is equals to 3 plus 1, which is equals to 4. So p comma q is equals to 4 comma minus 1. Okay, so that is the solution to that simultaneous quadratic linear equation. Okay, now let us use the second method to find the value of p and q. Okay, I want you to pay attention. If you want to use the second method to find the value of p and q, you have to first take the difference of 2 squared. Okay, second method. We are asked to solve p plus q equals to 3 then p squared minus q squared equals to 15. Now, if you want to solve this using the second method, you have to take the difference of 2 squared of the second equation. This is the first and this is the second. Okay, the difference of 2 squared for p squared minus q squared is what? P squared minus q squared is equals to p plus q and p minus q. You understand? Okay? Are you paying attention? Now, recall that p plus q is what? 3. So you are going to have p plus q is equals to 3 from equation 1. You understand? From equation 1, p plus q is equals to 3. You see, if you express p squared minus q squared in as a difference of 2 squared, you're going to have p plus q and p minus q. You understand? Okay? If you open this bracket, you're going to arrive at this. Now, don't forget in the equation, we knew that p plus q is equals to 3. So, I'm going to substitute the value of p plus q as 3. So, the equation becomes, the equation becomes p squared plus q squared is equals to 3 into bracket p minus q, because p plus q is equals to 3. So I replace p plus q, which is here, as 3. Are you paying attention? Okay, now, so since I know that p squared plus q squared is equals to 3 into bracket p minus q, and from the question we've been given that, okay, it is negative here, so this should be negative. Sorry, this should be negative. The sign here should be negative. You understand? The sign that we are given, the sign, I express this, I bring this to this place. You understand? So the sign should be negative. It's not positive. Okay. So now, since you know that p squared minus q squared is equal to 15, and p squared minus q squared is equal to 3 into bracket p minus q, definitely 3 into bracket p minus q will be equals to 15. You understand? Because p squared minus q squared is equals to 15. Are you paying attention? Now, from this point, you are going to divide both sides by 3. You understand? So, this divided by 3 and this divided by 3. So, p minus q is equals to 5. You understand? Okay? Now, we have gotten the value of p minus q as 5. Now, let us call this equation 3. Call this equation 3. Now, combine equation 1 and equation 3. So I'm going to have equation 1 is p plus q equals to 3, and equation 3 is p minus q equals to 5. Now we can easily eliminate q by adding both equations. So if you sum both equations, we are going to have p plus q minus q is equals to 3 plus 5. You understand? Okay, I'm going to have 2p. Now, plus q minus q will give us 0. So, I'm left with what? 2p is equals to 8. So, here, 2p is equals to 8. Divide both sides by 2. This over 2 and this over 2. Please, do you understand what I'm doing? If you didn't understand, kindly listen to the explanation again, okay? So, divide both sides by 2. Here, I'm going to have p is equals to 4. Okay? Because 8 divided by 2 will give us 4. Do you understand? Okay? Now, having gotten the value of p as 4, you can easily get the value of q by substituting p into any of the equation, either equation 1, equation 2, or equation 3. So let's make use of equation 3. You know, in equation 3 we have p minus q is equals to 5. Now when p is 4, so I'm going to have 4 minus q is equals to 5. Now minus q is equals to 5. If this 4 crosses the equals to sign, the sign which is positive is going to change to negative. So I'm going to have, if it crosses the equals to sign, the sign is going to change to negative. So I'm going to have minus 4. So minus q is equals to 4. I'm looking for q. I'm not looking for minus q. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1 to eliminate the minus that is at the coefficient of q. So divide both sides by minus 1, this over minus 1. So q is equals to negative 1. So p comma q for this equation as well is what? 4 comma minus 1. Do you understand? So you can either use any of the method. Okay? You can use any of the method. But I want to do something now. Tell me the method that you find most interesting. The one that you understood the most. Is it the first method or the second method? Let me know in the comment section, okay? That is all for this class. See you in the next class.